Ever wondered how to raise dual-purpose chickens from day-old chicks to market-ready birds? In this video, I'll guide you through practical feeding schedules, the total feed you'll need, growth expectations, and tips to keep your 100 birds healthy. For me, I raise them to sell around 4 months, though some breeders say they can be ready in just 3 months. We'll use Sasso chickens as an example, but these tips work for any dual-purpose breed. And I'll also give some guidance for local chickens. Let's get started. From day 1, feeding is one of the most important factors for healthy growth. Each dual-purpose chick, like Sasso, will start with about 22 grams of feed per day. For 100 birds, that's roughly 2.2 kilograms of feed on the first day. I also want to point out that while this video focuses on feeding, brooding practices are critical during the first 3 weeks, and vaccinations start from day 1 and continue throughout the growth period. For a detailed guide on brooding, including temperature management, bedding, water, etc., I've made a dedicated video which I've linked in the description. Make sure to check it out to give your chicks the best possible start. By the end of this guide, you'll know exactly how much feed your flock needs, how to track cumulative feed, and how to prepare your birds for market at the ideal age. As your dual-purpose chicks move into their second week, their feed requirements start to increase to support faster growth. Around day 8, each bird will need about 35 grams of feed daily, which totals approximately 3.5 kilograms for 100 birds each day. By the end of the second week, each chick will have consumed roughly 399 grams, adding up to almost 40 kilograms for the whole flock. During the third week, feed per bird increases to around 50 grams per day, totaling 5 kilograms for 100 birds daily. By the end of this week, each bird will have eaten about 749 grams of feed, with the flock consuming roughly 75 kilograms cumulatively. This period is critical because your birds are growing rapidly, and consistent feeding ensures they develop strong bones, muscles, and immunity. By week 4, your birds will each be eating approximately 65 grams of feed daily, which adds up to 6.5 kilograms for all 100 birds per day. The cumulative feed for each bird by the end of week 4 will be around 1,204 grams, totaling just over 120 kilograms for the entire flock. Feeding during this stage should be frequent and consistent, with clean water available at all times. At this point, your birds are leaving the brooding phase behind and entering the growth stage. Proper feeding during weeks 2 to 8 sets the foundation for healthy birds that will gain good weight in the coming months. Remember, these numbers are based on dual-purpose birds like Sasso, but the approach works for other dual-purpose breeds as well. Local chickens will generally eat less and grow a bit slower, but the principle of steadily increasing feed applies to them too. As your dual-purpose birds enter their third month, their daily feed continues to increase to support rapid growth and muscle development. Around weeks 9 to 12, each bird will consume between 135 and 155 grams of feed daily. For a flock of 100 birds, this means roughly 13.5 to 15.5 kilograms of feed per day. By the end of the third month, each bird will have eaten around 8 kilograms of feed cumulatively, totaling over 800 kilograms for the entire flock. Feeding consistently and ensuring clean water is crucial at this stage, as the birds are developing the bulk of their meat. It's also important to monitor their growth carefully, checking that each bird is gaining weight steadily and remains healthy. You can adjust feeding slightly if you notice birds growing slower or faster than expected, but the key is maintaining a consistent feeding routine and providing a balanced diet. In the fourth month, your bird's daily feed will increase further, ranging from 160 to 175 grams per bird per day. For 100 birds, this totals approximately 16 to 17.5 kilograms daily, with the cumulative feed for the flock approaching 1,285 kilograms. This is the stage when dual-purpose birds like Sasso reach practical market weight. They should be strong, healthy, and ready for sale, assuming proper feeding and care throughout the previous weeks. Local chickens will typically grow more slowly and may need additional time to reach ideal weight, but the principle of gradually increasing feed remains the same. Consistency in feeding, providing clean water at all times, and observing your bird's health will ensure they reach their full growth potential and fetch the best price at market. During these months, monitor your bird's health closely. Ensure they have a clean environment, check for signs of illness, and maintain proper feeding routines. This period is also an ideal time to prepare for market, whether you plan to sell at 4 months, which is practical for most dual-purpose birds, or extend slightly if you want larger birds. Proper feeding and care during months 3 and 4 directly influence both the weight and the quality of your birds, setting you up for better returns at the market. By the 4th month, your dual-purpose birds are approaching market readiness. For breeds like Sasso, this is my practical selling age because by this time, they've reached a good weight, they're healthy, and the feed costs are still manageable. If you've ever raised dual-purpose breeds in a deep litter system, I'd love to know how long yours took to reach market weight. Share your experience in the comments below. To manage feed more effectively and reduce production costs, which directly increases profit, I usually mix my own feed at home. Doing this can cut feed expenses by up to 50%, but it's also quite risky if you don't know the correct mixing ratios. You need to measure specific quantities of each feed ingredient carefully. If you want to learn how to mix your own affordable chicken feed from home the right way, I've linked a video at the end of this one. Make sure to watch it before you attempt mixing your own feed, so you don't end up wasting ingredients or affecting your bird's growth. Before taking your birds to market, it's important to sort and weigh them to know which ones are ready for sale and which may need more growth. Some farmers choose to extend the rearing period into a 5th month. This can help birds gain extra weight and potentially increase profits, but it also comes with higher feed costs and more time spent managing the flock. This approach works best if you have enough feed, adequate space, and are ready to invest a little more time and resources. For local chickens, a longer rearing period is often necessary because they grow more slowly, but the same principles of consistent feeding and care still apply. At this stage, your next steps depend on your goal, whether you're raising birds primarily for meat or for eggs. If your focus is meat production, attention should stay on growth and feed efficiency. Dual-purpose birds may not grow as fast as commercial broilers, but they offer firmer meat, better taste, and greater resilience in local conditions. By the end of the 4th month, each bird should be reaching an average live weight of between 2.2 and 3 kilograms, depending on management and feeding practices. If you continue feeding into the 5th month, daily intake will rise slightly to about 180 to 195 grams per bird, producing heavier birds but at a higher feed cost. After this stage, weight gain begins to slow. So for most farmers, selling between 16 and 18 weeks tends to give the best profit margin. Extending to a 5th month can make sense if your market rewards larger birds, but remember, the longer they stay, the more your feed expenses will increase. Plan your rearing period according to your target buyers and market demand. If your goal is egg production, your management approach changes slightly after the 4th month. Dual-purpose pullets usually begin to show signs of maturity between 16 and 20 weeks. At this stage, slowly transition them from grower feed to pre-layer feed. Once about 5% of the flock starts laying eggs, you can shift them to layer feed. Layer feed should have enough protein, around 16 to 18%, and a high calcium content to support strong eggshells. Each hen will eat approximately 180 to 200 grams per day. Make sure to provide clean water at all times, enough nesting boxes, and at least 14 hours of light daily to stimulate laying, but only after they have started laying. Early stimulation can lead to problems such as prolapse, very small eggs, and inconsistent production. Here's a simple way to think about the feeding stages. From hatching to 3 weeks, chicks are on starter feed rich in protein. From 4 to 12 weeks, they move to grower feed to develop their frame and muscles. Between 13 and 20 weeks, they should be on developer or pre-layer feed to prepare their reproductive organs. From the time around 5% of hens start laying onward, shift to layer feed for consistent egg production. Dual-purpose hens don't lay as many eggs as commercial layers, but they give you the advantage of providing both meat and eggs with less maintenance and greater resistance to common diseases. By following these steps, you can ensure that your birds grow healthy and reach a practical market age, usually around 4 months for improved dual-purpose breeds. Extending to a 5th month is an option for those who want larger birds, but but it comes with higher feed costs and more management time. Always balance growth, cost, and market timing to get the best returns from your flock. In case you need a copy of this feed calculator or calculators for other breeds, where you can simply enter the number of birds and it automatically works out the feed per day, per week, per month, and for the entire cycle, download them using the links in the description. If you found this guide helpful, I encourage you to share your experiences raising dual-purpose birds in the comments. Let others learn from your successes and challenges. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more practical poultry farming tips, and check the description for the feed calculators and the brooding video link to give your chicks the best possible start in life. I'll see you in the next one.